In brief, our agenda for today is a discussion of organizational standards and the successes and developments that have occurred. To explain in detail when, where, how, and why we are a climate change organization with a spiritual core that has not changed and won't change, and simultaneously any and all energies that we have will be translated into grounded, practical, real-world solutions for climate change in concert with spirit, in service to spirit, in service to humanity. We will be discussing our engagement models and components. We'll also be talking about what we might call the arcs of human tribal processes of adaptation. This statement in the middle of this slide we would see as key and core. This, we feel, basically says everything that needs to be said. We intend to engage the human population and existing organizations and nations at whatever scale is required to achieve climate change resolution and to operate as the collaborative core infrastructure for that endeavor. In achieving this goal, we will not prioritize either the trivial or the ego desires or preferences or tribally familiar processes of any individual or group in the WSS, nor allow them to become urgent. We will advocate collaborative effort. We will support and love and care about everyone and facilitate and heal anyone and everyone that wishes to be. And there is a transcendent goal here that is higher than any of us, myself included, and that's service to humanity and to the natural world. That must be our standard. If we do not meet that standard, we will not meet the requirement for generation of solution of climate change. We will also not meet the requisite generation of a sustainable life process for humanity. Some of our successes, achievements, and wins thus far. We have the WSS website, and it is available on mobile devices. And we, as of next week, a week or so from now, we will have not just the ability to access our mobile devices, we will have an app, a software, a written software that allows interaction with the website and with Chloe that can be downloaded from stores, from online app stores. And that will, again, make it easier for people to connect and engage with us in a very real world, practical, and substantive way. The Chloe social network is now fully functional. We are going to be adding to it forever. It will always be a work in progress. It will always be evolving, developing, and transforming. And the app will allow interface to it. We have our YouTube channel, and currently we have 13 videos and are running about 12 hours of educational content. That's going to accelerate dramatically in the near term. We have innumerable meditations that we can put on the, literally, I believe hundreds now of meditations that we can put on the YouTube channel, along with the educational content. These are tangible, real world, currently available products and services online available to anyone in the world. These are what we would term substantive successes. The WSS podcast starts next week. Myself and Amy will be initiating that process. It will be an ongoing podcast, and we will make the outputs of the podcast available on YouTube, available on the website, and available in any other venue that they're constructively applied to, including the Chloe system. We have 48 weeks of successful workshops. Now, that's an important statement. We have heard it said that we have no workshop capacity within the WSS. Right now, in this moment, we're having a workshop. We've been doing this successfully for almost a year. We are planning on creating public meetings and literal public workshops in the very near term. That is our plan, whether they're held during the week or during weekend days. We have full capacity to do so. If I can sit here and talk for 3.5 hours straight, we can run a workshop. If we can have this participative conversation that we've had now for 48 weeks, we can run a workshop with anybody. We've had 7 public meetings. We currently have 20 teams that have developed, are developing, and are growing. We are currently in contact with potential fiscal sponsors, and we're hoping for a near-term response from them, which will give us 501c3 status, which means we will be able to receive any amount of contributed funding that will bring this vision and mission to total fruition. We have 150 hours of recorded collaboration education that's right now ready to edit and to upload to any distribution site. These are all tangible successes that we can point to, that anyone can point to and say, yes, we have achieved this. Yes, this is in the can. This is functionally ready to go. We have necessary expertise that has been accessed and put in place, whether educational, video editing, IT expertise, project management. So we have Jeff, we have Dexter, we have Justin, we have Norb, we have Richard, and others. We also have a lot more climate change internal expertise and knowledge and understanding than has been realized or stated. I myself have been studying climate change for many years. That said, if there's any concern over our internal climate change understanding or knowledge or expertise, we are absolutely augmenting it. We don't claim to be experts. We have just also received Andara, who is, in our understanding, highly educated in climate change issues. I'm not trying to speak for you, Andara. And we're going to bring on many more experts and organizations, nonprofit organizations that are climate change centric. They will inform us, educate us, evolve us, develop us, and we will do the same for them. New people are joining through the Healing Hub. It is one of several avenues for connection with the WSS. It is not our only engagement model, and it is only a portion of the larger picture. We would suggest that the website, Chloe, YouTube are all engagement channels. The orientation team is an engagement channel. Word of mouth is an engagement channel. The workshops and the podcasts that we're going to be starting up next week, podcast next week, workshop soon after, are all engagement channels, as well as the networking of the various folks that are in the WSS at this time. We have capacity and intention to provide outreach support. And those folks are doing a great job, and we appreciate everything that they've done. And they are making this happen. And so we applaud their efforts, and with all gratitude, we say thank you. There is no secret sauce, and there are no silver bullets in this process. There is no single answer to climate change. There is no single answer to outreach. There is no single answer to connecting with the public. Any attempt to overtly focus on a single focus would actually be to take visibility off of all of the other options and opportunities and to miss the mark. We absolutely have the capacity to have laser focus, and we also have a panoramic view, and we are capable of functioning within the spectrum of all of those. We must, as an organization, be able to operate with that degree of flexibility, empowerment, capacity, and understanding of the profundity of the issues, the complexity of the issues, the nature of the challenge of climate change, and the absolute requisite need for unification of humanity and the healing that will be required in order to bring about that unification. The learning, the healing, the transformation, the support, the service, and the love, and alignment with spirit. They're all key core ingredients. We get that. We're doing it. We're not seeking buy-in in this process. Buy-in from other people is a tribal process. It is an egocentric process. It's based on exchange and transaction dynamics. It's based upon limited forms of unification, limited forms of collaboration that say, I'm only going to give if I get. I'm only going to participate if there's something in it for me. I can tell you, in my understanding, from everything I've understood in my communications with anybody that I communicate with, that's not going to cut it for our future. That system of transaction and exchange dynamics is going the way of the dinosaurs. We cannot get to climate change resolution, unity, and definition of a sustainable life process through competition or through exchange and transaction dynamics. If those are our values that trump or higher, put at a higher priority than love and unity and working together and collaboration and service to each other and service to the natural world, the world will continue to burn until we change. That's our perspective. We're open to learning. We're open to changing our perspective. We simply feel these to be truths. So, other successes and wins so far. We have the wonderful interview that was made possible by Shamra with Rory Kennedy. God bless you, Shamra. God bless you, Rory. That is on YouTube and on our website. We got compliments from our potential fiscal sponsor that we're Ecologistics is the name of the company, the organization. And we got compliments on that interview. We have numerous white papers and written educational materials on the website at this time. We're building our database of climate change reference materials. Our intention is to have the Chloe system be a repository and a storage place for all things climate change so that people can work together based upon shared, accurate, up-to-date, vetted information. If we don't have a central repository somewhere in the world where people can say, these are apples and these are oranges, and this is how we get to solutions, and these ways of getting to solutions don't work anymore, and agree upon that, if we don't have that venue, that global commons, we're not going to get things negotiated out. We're not going to get them worked out. We're not going to get them project planned out, and we're not going to get solutions generated and implemented in the time available and with the resources available. We're working with an organization called Sentinel. We have meetings that have taken place and to ensure that we are GDPR compliant in terms of our data management and security and our intellectual property management so that we meet global and international standards and also standards which are incredibly high in California and very high for good reason. On the Chloe system, we're developing a governance model to ensure that anybody and everybody that's participative knows that their information is not going to be used, it's not going to be bought, it's not going to be sold, it's not going to be stolen, it's not going to be used to cause them any problems, and it's also going to be honored, that their participation will be honored and respected and appreciated and supported. We have significant progress in regard to branding and funding development. The branding and funding teams are going great guns. They are excellent and brilliant, and we've seen tremendous efforts and tremendous developments, and they are going to be reflected directly in the website in the very near term. Our intention is to focus on inclusiveness and diversity in all of their dimensions in the WSS process and in all of our messaging. You cannot have unity if you don't respect diversity. You cannot have unity if you don't love everyone. We do love everyone. We want unity. Our current plan is now to add as many new members to the WSS as we can via, in part, search engine optimization strategies, or SEOs, and also outreach campaigns and processes, as well as all of the other engagement model components that we spoke of earlier. Once we have more funding, and it is our perception we will have far more funding in the near future, we will be looking at additional options in regard to communication strategies and campaigns, which will then increase funding and increase participation. We have been invited by a gentleman named Gabriel, who is one of our participants, to do interviews on artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is going to be a requisite key core process. It's not feasible to operate a global organization that we envision without integrating artificial intelligence into it in its future developmental phases. Therefore, we want to connect with the folks that we're going to be working with in the future right now and help them understand why consciousness is a key core element of AI development. If you don't have heart, soul, and consciousness in AI, then you don't have humanity in AI. And you don't have a positive future based upon the wonderful potential that AI represents to our species. So these are the folks that we've connected with thus far. Frank Dixon, Richard Salini, the Haifa Seeds folks, and the KINS Network, the European Union auditor, Frank. I wouldn't pronounce his name properly, his last name, so I won't try. And Dr. Smita Naram, who's a participant in a network of healing organizations. Teresa McGlashan's brother, Bill McGlashan, who is an incredible developer of global initiatives, who has had vast success in the past. Reagan has put us in touch with a brilliant person named Adam Hall, and who has developed many things in the world. Rory Kennedy, a documentary developer, we've been put in touch with by Shamra. Emmerich Young, a financier and climate change activist, we've been put in contact with by Alessandrina. Idris Hester, a wonderful gentleman who's online at this time, we've been put in touch with in the by Reagan in regard to the Agape organization, that is their president, I believe, is named Michael Beckwith. And lastly, Ben Gertzel, a well-known AI expert, is a gentleman that we can be put in touch with. We hope to be put in touch with by Gabriel. And he is the CEO of the Singularity Network, and he's a genius's genius. We're hoping that we can bring these people together all in the same room at the same time and determine what synergies are there, what possibilities there are for unified effort, unified solutions generation, unified service.